Imagine this. You walk into a debate hall filled with energy, voices clashing, ideas sparking. At the center is a young man, sharp, charismatic, bold. His name is Daniel Cross, and he thrives in the spotlight. Hours later, that same man is found beaten to death by a creek in Lincoln, Nebraska. At first, it looked like random violence, but as investigators followed the evidence, they uncovered something far darker. Betrayal, obsession, and a secret so explosive it shattered Daniel's carefully built image. This is the story of Daniel Cross, the rising star who lived loudly in public, but whose most dangerous battles were fought in the shadows. Daniel Cross wasn't born into power. He grew up in Wichita, Kansas, in a modest family. By his early 20s, he had carved out a name in politics. Outspoken, fearless, unapologetically ambitious. At 27, Daniel was known across the Midwest as a firebrand speaker. His videos racked up thousands of views online. He debated tirelessly on campuses, sparking admiration from supporters and fury from critics. But what most people didn't know, behind the confident speeches and perfectly tailored suits, Daniel was vulnerable, constantly balancing the person he was with the image he projected. And that pressure was about to explode. On September 12, 2021, Daniel arrived at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. The auditorium buzzed with energy. Protesters chanted outside. Inside, students filled every seat. The debate was heated, but Daniel thrived on tension. He sparred with opponents, cracked jokes, and, by most accounts, won the room, but not everyone was smiling. Witnesses noticed tension between Daniel and his closest aide, Ethan Ward. They whispered harshly during breaks. At one point, Daniel walked away visibly angry. By 10:30 p.m., the event ended. Daniel thanked his audience, shook a few hands, and disappeared into the night. It would be the last time he was seen alive. At dawn the next morning, a jogger stumbled upon something horrifying near Salt Creek, a wooded trail not far from the university. Daniel's body lay face down in the mud. His suit was torn, his face bloodied, his phone was gone. His car, parked nearby, had its keys left in the ignition. The medical examiner later determined he had died from blunt force trauma to the head. Police initially suspected a mugging, but Daniel still had his wallet, cash, and watch. This wasn't about theft. This was personal. Detectives started piecing together Daniel's final hours. Surveillance cameras showed him leaving the university around 10:30 p.m. At 11:15, another camera captured him walking toward a parking lot with a man in a hoodie. 15 minutes later, that same man was seen running away alone. The footage was grainy, but investigators recognized the gait, the build, the outline. It was Ethan Ward. When police dug into Daniel's phone records, they found something explosive. Although his phone was missing, a cloud backup revealed late-night messages, encrypted calls, and private exchanges. Not with strangers, but with Ethan. For years, Daniel and Ethan had more than a professional relationship. They had been romantically involved. For Daniel, the relationship was complicated. He feared exposure, scandal, and losing the political career he worked so hard to build. For Ethan, it was love, but it was also control, jealousy, and dependency. And in the weeks leading up to Daniel's death, their relationship had begun to fracture. Friends later revealed that Daniel had been distant from Ethan. He confided in one colleague, "I can't keep living this double life. It's time to end it." On the night of September 12th, after the debate, Daniel told Ethan exactly that. It was over. Witnesses had seen the two arguing in hushed tones. One even heard Daniel say, "You're not part of this anymore." That night, Ethan followed him into the parking lot. And what happened next would shatter both of their lives. When detectives confronted Ethan, he denied everything, said he hadn't seen Daniel after the debate. But evidence told a different story. His fingerprints were on Daniel's car. His DNA was found on a discarded hoodie near Salt Creek. And then came the damning dashcam footage. A passing truck driver's camera caught the blurred image of Daniel running, chased by Ethan under the cover of night. When shown the footage, Ethan broke. He confessed. Ethan admitted that he confronted Daniel at the parking lot. They argued. Daniel threatened to go public, to end things permanently. Ethan panicked. He pulled a heavy flashlight from his bag. In a burst of rage, he struck Daniel in the head. Daniel fell to the ground, groaning. Ethan left him there. By the time help could have arrived, Daniel was gone. Ethan Ward was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. In court, he sobbed through testimony, insisting it wasn't planned. "I loved him," he said. "I didn't mean to kill him." But love twisted by obsession becomes something else entirely. The jury found him guilty. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison. For Daniel's supporters, the trial was devastating. Some refused to believe the story. Others mourned not just his death, but the secret he had kept. For his family, it was simpler. They lost a son, a brother, a human being behind the headlines. Daniel Cross's death left a scar not only on his family, but on the community that had rallied around him. His story became a cautionary tale of ambition, secrecy, and the human cost of image over honesty. He wasn't just a politician in the making. He was a man caught between two lives, one public, one private, and destroyed by the collision of both.